Sometimes to me, the idea of having a body at all is absolutely ridiculous. Like on a scale, on a spectrum of like, this is like a normal thing and this is the most crazy thing I've ever heard. The sheer idea of a consciousness being trapped inside of a body, to me, just blows my mind. Oh, Laura, everyone's born inside of a body. Like you are a body, you have consciousness. If you're a consciousness, you have to have a body. So what I started to do is I started to think about myself as a spaceship, which allows me to travel through time and space and like interact with things and people, and it's not in pain constantly. I mean, holy shit. Like, am I in the ostrich and where the ostriches live? No, excuse me, emos. I might be. I'm not scared of them. I think they're pretty cool. So if we run into one, I'll record it. In Star Trek, you've got the warp engine and the impulse, which can do various things in various different environments. So you're gonna have shields, right? Because you need those to deflect against all kinds of bad shit that comes your way when you're a starship. Oh my god. Any kind of living being that's not microscopic or quantum on Earth has to have the same spaceship parts at a bare minimum in order to function there. So you're going to have a crew. You know, you're going to have people probably on the ship making sure that the ship is, you know, doing what they want it to do. Now, some spaceships have different hull colors, have different, you know, designs to them, but for the most part, they're going to have that heart, that lungs, that warp core. Oh, no. This is fine. So you've got a spaceship. You're living your life. You're doing the best you can. Sometimes the spaceship itself just gets like really freaked out. Who makes choices during the day, that has sort of goals outside of the next 10 minutes, has big plans for the future. I mean, that's your computer. That's your consciousness, man. People running the computer. Because those are people that can get on and off the spaceship and still exist without it. But the idea that you sort of forget your body for a hot second or forget what is happening, you just zone the fuck out, and then you come back and you're like, oh. And if that happens enough times during the day, especially when you're stressed out or everything is money and doing things and stressing and running around and not having enough time, we'll figure it out. Sometimes you just stop taking care of yourself. I'm strong. You know, I had to take care of myself for a long way in a lot of ways that I don't think other people saw. And that goes on, and all of a sudden, you know, well, if it's me, I just have no energy. I didn't realize I was spending all the time on my spaceship as a consciousness, taking care of everybody else's crews and spaceships as best I could. But like, I have to manually do this stuff now. I have to say like, shields up, because it's reminding me like, oh, this is a situation where you don't need to scan and fix everyone's problems. It's not your circus, it's not your monkeys. Put up your shields. And I'm like, okay. I don't have a migraine. Suddenly I'm not exhausted as I was. Suddenly I can like smile more, and I have the energy to do something for myself. And that's why I don't make art anymore. And that's why I don't, you know, continue conversations past like 0.2 seconds. I don't have the attention span for it, because attention span comes from feeling safe and energized and doing things for your own spaceship. Consciousness, it may utilize the brain to do stuff, but it is not the brain. Bodies are these things that just run themselves no matter what's happening with their consciousness to almost near perfection, unless something goes wrong, you get sick or you get hurt. Yeah. So then I started to realize, oh my god, so I have to fucking take care of my spaceship. That's my job. And spiderwebs. I literally could not get that through my head until I thought about body as spaceship. The idea that I'm a captain of this thing and I have to like, yeah, I know I gotta clean it and bathe it and make sure that it has food, but let me tell you, I've been really bad about eating food, because consciousness has about 50 other things it wants to be doing other than whatever this thing needs. But the idea that the consciousness part of me was just not paying attention to the rest of it does not make sense if the body and the mind are the same thing. So what happens whenever you go into a coma through medical requirements? Where does your consciousness go? Because your body's doing just fine. The body is fine. And sometimes the body can straight turn the fuck off. Like we're talking near-death experiences. That is, it's okay, we good. We did not walk into the spider web. We're gonna walk this way. We're talking about people that have left the body. The machines are saying, you have no signal, brain is not working, there's no fucking possible way you can have consciousness. Fuck. And so basically, computer turned off. I don't want to be in nature anymore. How do I go home? Mom? So I guess my ultimate point is that so we've all got spaceships. We all have stuff that we need. Some of us are dinosaurs. He doesn't know what's inside of my spaceship, and I don't know what's inside of his spaceship. The things that he's gone through or the parts that he's had to replace. I want to think about it, but the truth is sometimes we just don't know. And they probably have very different perception and have had very different space journeys. I know that I always assumed that everyone had my kind of spaceship and everyone had my kind of consciousness and everyone had my kind of the way that I look at the world. And I thought that when I saw a symbol, everyone got the same meaning from it. It may not be true. know that every single person that you interact with is on a spaceship that's gone through some shit, and we should probably be more respectful of each other. It's hard being a human. It's hard doing this thing and having this adventure, you know? We gotta be kind to each other. And we gotta be kind to ourselves in our own spaceships.